welcome to this edition of Your High School Sports. I'm your host, Rodney Woods, along with Chris Reddick and Chris Blevins. We're here with all regional high school sports and a little bit of college. UT played ETSU. These guys, ETSU alumni, so they had a lot riding on that game. So if UT won, like Chris said, UT won, I'll be happy. If ETSU won, I'll be like Randy Sanders, I'll run behind the bus naked all the way to John City. But you see, that didn't happen. But he rode the bus with his clothes on. So here we go, guys. It's time for the Buddies Barbecue around the region and across the nation, and we'll kick things off with Chris Reddick here. He always does around the nation. So let's see what's going on around the nation. Anything big time?
Oh, there's always something big time going on around the nation. When you got the opportunity to talk about anything you want in the nation, you're going to find the story. And we got a good one for you today because, this is the time of year we're hitting mid-season, so people are starting to have their homecoming. So we've got a unique story down in Mississippi at a school, Ocean Springs, and a unique thing happened. And what happened is a young lady became the Ocean Springs homecoming queen.
Okay.
Now you're like, okay, what's special about that? Well, the young lady is the kicker of the football team. And you're like, okay, so what's special about that? Well, the young lady not only won homecoming queen, but on that homecoming night, she kicked 2 field goals and then kicked the winning PAT to put Ocean Springs up to a 13-12 victory, which I don't think anything like this has ever happened in football. I know we have some girls now that are kicking for teams, but to win the homecoming queen and be the star of the football team in the same game, unbelievable.
That is impressive.
You know what? So that is the story I wanted to share with you today. A unique story from, her name is Kayla Betty, and she's from Ocean Springs, Mississippi. Check
all right.
She's got a picture of her with her little crown and her flowers in her football uniform,
That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, Mr. Blevins, what do we got?
Well, let's talk about a couple big games that we had last week that I want to share with you. Obviously, Davy Crockett is still going to be 4-0 going into our big game this week against Knox County. We talked about that last week on the show, what was going to happen with that. So we are still in the running for 2 unbeaten teams coming into this next Friday. Also, Knox Fulton won this in the past week, 20-14. I think Fulton's got something in the tank.
I think
they're kind of gearing up for what it is. And the biggest thing I wanted to talk about, but before I talk about that, I want to get your all's opinion on Greenville. We kind of talked about this off camera. Greenville and Science Hill played this past week, and Greenville won against Science Hill 42-0.
Yes.
So I want to get your all's take on what do you think about that, and what do you think technically we know what Greenville is. What does that mean for Science Hill to beat 42-0?
Oh, well, what that means is Science Hill's got a lot of work to do. That's what that means. But that's not to say Science Hill's out of this, because remember, Science Hill is 6-18. They just got a lot of work to do, but they did lose to a respectable state champion team. But
number 1 ranked.
You guys heard me. I gave this to Science Hill. I know, so everybody can go ahead and say what they want to say, but I tell you what, Science Hill, we were talking about this on camera, they had them. They had the game. They start off the game the way you want to start. And they started in the right direction, drove it right down the field, then a turnover was called. Gave the ball to an excellent, disciplined Greenville team that doesn't make mistakes. So when you're playing a team that's ranked number 1 in the state, previous state champion, a team that's disciplined, with all those veteran players that don't make mistakes, it says a whole lot. But Science Hill, the only problem I have, because you want to know about Science Hill, the only problem I have is the reason I got a lot of work to do is you allowed that 4A school, which I know it doesn't matter if you're in classification, a good team's a good team, but you had them put the running clock on you. And Science Hill, you gotta at least step up to get off that running clock.
Yeah, you do.
You gotta find a way. I mean, and that I didn't see the game, so I don't want to say they necessarily gave up. I don't know what happened that second half, but that's where you gotta really dig down deep and find yourself as a player and get a little pride in you and try to at least put some points on the board to give you some new life going into the next week.
You do. And I agree 100% with both of you. Greenville is a real thing. We saw them scrimmage against Farragut right before the season started, but the week prior to that, they went to Carson Newman scrimmage Fulton, and we know how good Fulton is, and Fulton actually hit them in the mouth. And we've talked about that, fans. If you don't know what that means, that means you come out on the field and you draw blood first.
Yeah.
You hit Greenville in the mouth, and that's what Fulton did, but Coach Ballard wouldn't even talk to us. We went up there, we scheduled a meeting with him to do an interview, and he wouldn't even, because he said he needed to focus in on what he was doing.
You had to make sure his team was on track.
And they are on track.
Right.
They are on track.
Well, let's shift gears now talking about that. Let's go the opposite direction, I feel like.
Okay.
We had Alcoa Maryville, too, that I want to
Yes.
share this.
Yes.
Talked about this on last week's show.
Yes.
Alcoa and Maryville was a historic rivalry, but obviously it's favored more to the Maryville side.
It has.
Guess what? Alcoa wins 34-28 this past week. And let's talk about this. We talk about Science Hill on a down. That's not a bad win for Maryville in a sense, but at the same time, that's not a good sign. So does that mean does that tell something about Maryville?
No, not at all.
You want to have this?
I got this. I got this one. Coach Rankin has been in this game. They have won, between the two schools, 32 state championships. Now, that's a lot. So if you just lose to your crosstown rival, you'll still be number one. The poll's out right now. You'll be able to go to yourhighschoolsports.com and check out the TSSAA poll. But Maryville is the real deal.
But does that mean that if Maryville would have won, we would have just said, well, good job, Maryville?
It would have been.
But now Alcoa won, so I think we got to put a little bit more emphasis on Alcoa.
Yeah, you
and
do.
make sure that we talk about it, because that's I think that is huge to see them beat Maryville.
It's definitely huge because it's huge in this sense. Let's talk classification. Alcoa is a 3A school, Maryville 6A school. So just in that case, it means something. But once again, like I said earlier about Greenville, a good team's a good team. I don't care if you're single A. But with this Alcoa team, I heard something a little bit earlier that this may be one of their best teams ever. So with that being said, that's not necessarily dismissing Maryville as if they've lost a step. That's just saying that Alcoa picked up a step to where I think Maryville's going to be fine, because remember they did prove themselves a little bit earlier. They beat Murfreesboro Oakland.
Yes, they did.
Which that's always been a tough match, but it's kind of been a nemesis team. So you know what, Maryville, let's be honest, they've been whooping Alcoa for the last 8 years. So they were due one.
Yeah, they were. They were, and you got to look at this like this: you lose one game a year if you're Alcoa, and you go on to win and bring the gold ball home. Eventually, you're gonna get that. You're gonna knock that hill. You're gonna climb that hill. You climb it every year, and every year the score was close.
But the
it wasn't no
confidence they must
blowout.
have, though. I think
The confidence. It's like it's
and then just to talk about classifications real quick, how cool would it if Greenville played Maryville?
It'd be great.
How cool would that be to see that? I mean, I know, again, classification-wise, again.
Even Alcoa.
How cool would that be, right? I mean, so that is
and they should. If Greenville's that good, we'll see how good Greenville is next year.
Right.
All right, guys. We've been around the nation and across the region, sponsored by Buddy's Barbecue. When we come back, Bart Lyons is going to join us, and we're going to find out what his take is on that Science Hill Greenville game. So make sure you stay right here on Your High School Sports. We're coming right back.
Express Shine Car Wash. You don't want to drive around in a dirty, dirty car. You gotta get it washed, Wanna show the whole world how fine you are. Go on and get it washed, time to get it washed. Take your foot off the gas and enjoy the ride. See the soap suds fly in the colorful neon light. For a clean, clean, clean like you've never ever seen. Claymore's Express Shine Car Wash.
Welcome back to this edition of Your High School Sports. Bart Lyons, our correspondent in the Northeast, is on the line with us. Bart, is Greenville all that? Tell me about them.
Greenville is a real deal. We went down there and took a road trip Friday night and come up a lot short. 42-0 to the Green Devils. Ballard, Youngblood, Goddard, and Height. They're the real deal, guys. I'm telling you, they're all they are. The height around Greenville Green Devils is true, and when you talk about their defense, they have not allowed a touchdown all season. So they need to make room in the trophy case. There'll probably be another gold ball coming down the Greenville way.
You put something in a text to me a day ago, and you said that Science Hill has played Murfreesboro Oakland, they played Brentwood Academy, and Greenville is in the same ballpark. Come on, Bart.
Yeah. No doubt. We were definitely in all the ball games when we played those other teams. But I can't say that for last Friday night. The Green Devils just from opening drives dominated. I think they scored on their first 5 possessions. So Kane Ballard's got something special going on down in Greenville.
All right. Well, tell us about what else is going on up there in the Northeast.
I'll tell you, we got the VT game between Tennessee High and Virginia High. 102 times they've matched up in football. And Mike Mays, former East Tennessee State Buccaneer, he's the head coach at Tennessee High, and he pulled his Tennessee High Vikings through and got the win over crosstown rivals Virginia High. So congratulations to Tennessee High and the Tennessee High Vikings. Another team that's really making a big splash, guys, is the David Crockett Pioneers. They're now 4-0. They defeated Knox Gibbs, a very talented squad with Larkins, Hagler, Joyner, and the Colley brothers. Coach Hayden Chandler, the former Daniel Boone player, played at UVA Wise for his college days. He's got Ryan Berger on staff. Ryan was a former Pioneer quarterback, and they've got the Pioneer football program rolling in the right direction.
Our other host on the show, Chris Reddick, said that in the paper last week I said, Crockett is not your grandpa's team.
That's exactly right. It's not the same team when Sean and I played in the 80s. They are definitely not the laughing stock anymore. They're a respectful program, and they're doing some great things down in Jonesboro.
Hey, talk about that Boone-Elizabethton game a little bit.
Well, I'll tell you, it was one heck of a ball game, and Coach Wheaton got his 100th win. And Daniel Boone's a tough ball club. Charlie Cole Jr., hard-nosed running back. He's big. He's got the size. He's got the speed. He's got the power. And Elizabeth did a real good job. I know the quarterback had a big game as well. But anytime you got Corey Russell back there at running back or wide receiver or whatever position Coach Wheaton has him at, hey, listen, he's a game changer. He's one heck of a player. But another note that I got, Sullivan North defeated Chucky Doak 27-21. Preston Patrick is a first-year coach. He's been a long-time assistant to Coach Robbie Norris. He's at the controls now for the Golden Raiders. They got the big win on the road, and they got a quarterback, Austin Hartsook, 106 yards rushing, 50 yards passing, and on defense, he just went over there and made 12 tackles during the ball game.
Whoa.
So Sullivan North got a big win last Friday night.
Well, Bart, tell me who your Bart Lyons, your high school sports player of the week are.
My player of the week is from Volunteer High School. He's quarterback named Eli Dorton. Threw for 215 yards, including 3 touchdowns, and also had a 2-point conversion to lead the Falcons a 27 victory over Sullivan East. So Eli Dorton from Volunteer High School doing a great job down there, and athletic director Coach Whalen down there is doing an awesome job, and they kind of got things going in the right direction at Volunteer as well.
All right. Well, we appreciate you being a part of your high school sports. And what's that magic saying you always give us?
Before we leave, I always got to say, hey, we're going on the road this weekend. Bearden Bulldogs, so go Toppers.
Bart Lyons, our correspondent in the Northeast, right here on Your High School Sports, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Your High School Sports. Bart Lyons said it all. A lot of things going on in the Northeast. His player of the week, from Volunteer, a new player of the week. So everything's going good. You say you've got some players,
performers, yeah.
top performers?
Yeah, top performers going into or just coming out of week 4. We're going to start with, and Bart mentioned this, Coach Sean Witt. Congratulations to him. Has his 100th win over Daniel Boone. And Top performers, of course, Cade Ballard. He's always on the list. 14 for 16, 282 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 touchdown rushing, which was over 70 yards that touchdown.
How many quarters did he play?
I don't know the exact stats, but I'm going to guess he played probably
3.
the first series after they scored another touchdown in the third quarter. Probably took him out third quarter.
Just want to put that in perspective. That's big time.
Yeah, a lot of these stats are coming at halftime stats, pretty much. So we also got Carter Everett. We've talked about him. Elizabethton had another great game. 22 out of 29, 248 yards, 3 touchdowns in the sky. Wide receiver for Greenville. Greenville has a lot of standout athletes. Darian Goddard, he had 6 receptions, 118 yards and a touchdown. Sullivan Central. Hey, we don't talk about them much. Almost got their first win. It's been a while since they won a game. Took it real tight to Johnson County, but they had an outstanding game from the quarterback. Harrison went 15 out of 29, 270 yards, 1 touchdown in the air, 2 touchdowns rushing. So I wanted to point that out in their loss to Johnson County. Also, wide receiver from Elizabethton, Evan Perkins, having a great, sensational year. He had 104 yards reception, 2 touchdowns. And I want to just quickly mention, Elizabeth has, we always, the players to watch, usually that sophomore sensation. We may have a freshman sensation on the rise. Already, I think this is his second 100-yard game for Elizabethton. Bryson Rollins, freshman, had 103 yards in that game. Quarterback at Crockett. We talk about this guy every week, Cade Larkins, and he was nothing but nice. 352 yards in the air, 5 touchdowns with a big win over Gibbs. Also, you got to have a little help desk, people to throw it to. Wide receiver and cornerback for Crockett, Hackler, had 2 touchdowns reception, and he had a 25-yard interception for a touchdown. Quarterback for the Dobbins-Bennett Indians, Landon Redwine. Well, he had 222 yards against Sevier County and a touchdown. And his partner in crime, the running back, Ian Hicks, we talked about this running back.
He was our player of the week last week.
Great hard runner. I remember capturing him last year. I was telling you about the kid last year, good hard runner. Reminds me like a Larry Zonka type running back. He had 152 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a smoking win over Sevier County, like 50-something.
Yeah, 52-0.
And Corey Russell, just want to point this out. Now, he didn't have the outstanding numbers because what they're doing with Corey and Elizabeth, they're using him all over the place. But I want to tell you what he did. He had a 14-yard TD reception. He had a touchdown run, and he had a touchdown pass for Elizabeth.
So he's all over the place.
He's just all over the place. But this is something interesting. I think he only had, I don't think he's ever had this stat ever, because we know what kind of player he is. I think he only had 3 yards rushing that game. But remember, he's not just a running back now. He's throwing the ball, he's catching the ball, and he's running the ball. He does special teams, and he's on defense.
All over the place.
They play him at linebacker, they play him at corner. He's Mr. Everything.
All right.
That's awesome.
Mr. Corey Russell. And we'd like to thank Bart Lyons once again for bringing us the report right here on Your High School Sports. All right, you got one more thing.
Bart mentioned it, but I just want to point out again is Player of the Week from Volunteer, Eli had 12 out of 15, 221 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Nice.
That was Bart's Player of the Week.
That was Bart's Player of the Week. All right, when we come back here on Your High School Sports, we're going to set up the big game of the week, Cock County versus Davy Crockett, as a Ball Corporation Game of the Week, and talk a little bit more about regional high school football right here on Your High School Sports. We're coming right back.
Just look at all those freshly made Krispy Kreme donuts. I'm sure it makes you want 1 or a dozen right now. So come visit our locally owned and operated Krispy Kreme donuts in Pigeon Forge. Our Krispy Kreme donuts are made fresh daily, our service is fast and friendly, and the taste will put a smile on anyone's face. Krispy Kreme is a fundraising favorite, so call us today to help support your school or community fundraising efforts. Our delivery truck is there when you need us. Krispy Kreme Donuts on the Parkway in Pigeon Forge.
Welcome back to Your High School Sports. I'm your host, Roddy Woods, along with Chris Reddick and Chris Blevins. It's time for the Ball Corporation Game of the Week. There's 2 games this week, guys. The first game will be Davy Crockett versus Cock County. And I know Chris Blevins is high on Cock County. And Chris, you actually saw Davy Crockett play last week. I'm just throwing it out. Y'all go for it.
Well, I'll go first real quick. I think what's going to happen this week is you're going to see two teams meeting each other with high expectations for the season. They both are going to have momentum going into the game. You just talked about the quarterback from Davy Crockett. I think he's still going to light it up this week. I really believe he's going to throw it all over the field. He's going to make Knox County defend every position. But I'll tell you what, I think it's going to be the big, big winner. I think we're going to see Knox County come back and a little firepower of their own and match some of these Crockett points, which is going to make the game a little different. And they're playing at Knox County, which is when I think the crowd's going to get into it. It's going to be a little bit brighter lights. Have you ever been to Knox County? It's a little bit smaller atmosphere, a little bit rougher and tougher. Not saying that Davy Crockett don't know how that is or how it works, but I think the home advantage, I think Knox County's offense will come out to play. I think David Crockett will still do it, but I'm going to give a slight edge to Knox County this week, upsetting David Crockett. I say it'll be less than a touchdown. Somewhere a touchdown or field goal, somewhere in that. I think it'll come down to the wire, and I think both teams will have a great game.
Okay. Let me tell you a little bit about Mr. David Crockett. This is a school that it was quoted in the paper, which is, I'm kind of paraphrasing, but it had a big headline a few weeks ago. This is not your grandpa or grandparents' team. And I had to go find out for myself. So I went to see about this new generation Davy Crockett team. And this team is exciting and fun to watch. And the crowd and the atmosphere, I thought I was in the club. I mean, they had the music pumping, everybody. I mean, it was like, I was like, yeah, I kind of was feeling, let's go. So the atmosphere has changed at Crockett, and with that being said, you can have a great atmosphere, but you still got to have great players. And you've heard about the quarterback. We've talked about him every week. He's been putting up incredible numbers.
Monster numbers.
Every
Yes,
week.
he has.
He's throwing multiple touchdowns. But he's got the core players to do it. They're good at running back. They got great receivers, defensive backs, defensive line. This is a solid team. This is not your grandparents' team. I mean, Crockett, I don't think they've ever been 4-0, but this 4-0 team, with the electricity that they have right now, and I know this is your alma mater, Knox County, but I think they're going to bring that glare and excitement into Knox County. And he says they're going to be a little short. I'm going to say it's going to be a little long for Crockett. They're going to win by 2 touchdowns.
Let me throw a name out there.
But the lights ain't going to be as bright at Knox County. Ain't going to be no music playing in Knox County. They're on the road now, and Knox County's going to be ready.
Let me tell you.
And they're going to bring their little jam box. They're going to bring it. They're going to bring it.
One player for Knox County, senior quarterback Jared Inslee. Got lots of weapons around him. Remember that name. If Knox County wins this game, Inslee will have to have a good game.
Just Knox County cannot get excited when Crockett scores 2 touchdowns to start the game.
No, they got to stay
in the game, keep on pushing, and I think that'll be the game changer. Now, if Knox County doesn't do that, I could see where you get that little long score. But I think at the beginning, if they just hold their own, don't let the excitement of the quick pace go quick, and just stay in their game plan, they will get back in the game if they just match the points and stay in the game, which I think that will happen like you're talking about.
That's what I'm thinking.
Senior quarterback Knox County.
And guess what? One final thought. Guys, it's been a while since I know Knox County used to be good. Scotty Dykes and my man.
Yeah, Birdie Allen.
They had good teams, but it's been a long stretch for them too. So they've been waiting and itching for a conference championship. This could be
Yes, it
the
could.
conference championship game that
Already. You're right. You're definitely right. All right, let's move on.
Now, I got one more. I'm sorry. I know you want to move on. Now, last year, Knox County fooled me. I jumped on the bandwagon a little bit early. The second half, they tanked on me. So what's going to happen this year?
I think they got a good chance. They're a senior-laden team. And when you get a lot of seniors on the team, they've grown up. They know how to win. They just need to win the big games. And I think this is Knox County's turn. I think it is. Like you said, this might be the conference championship. It really might be. It may be. All right, as we move on, it's our Sevier County game of the week. If you have Charter or Spectrum in the Sevier County market, you can pick this game up on Channel 180. It is Seymour versus Knox Central. I had a chance to catch up with Coach Reisner from Central. They just got off a big win last week. They put a whooping on Hardin Valley, and that is good. They've only lost 2 games. They lost to Fulton, and they lost to Tennessee High. but they came to Sevier County, beat Sevierville, and they just beat Hardin Valley. So I got a feeling that Coach Scott Gay in his first year, they're gonna have a hard time against Central.
Yeah. What's happening here? Southern Central. They were preseason, I believe, picked to win the conference, and not just win the conference, but it was a team that was highly touted to do a lot of big things in that Knoxville area. But you know what? They got hit in the mouth in that first game, and I was really shocked that Tennessee came out and whooped them.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if this was going to be a down season, but then I had to think, I said, wait a minute. Let me go back. Central's done this before.
Yes, they have.
kind of played that warm-up type ball. I mean, they've even had to play warm-up type ball one time. They went to the state championship where they didn't look like they were a good team at the beginning of the season. So this is nothing unusual. But guess what? It's mid-season, and they're getting ready to crank that engine up. And Coach Scott Gallion had a chance to talk to him. He says he's got a handful ahead of him. He knows what he's up against, but he says if they can do the right things, they can make some things happen. And we've been using this word, hit them in the mouth. Because remember, Central's got to come into their hometown.
Yes, they got to come home.
So they can get that crowd and excitement and get those players pumped up. Anything can happen. You know, that weather may play an effect. You know,
yeah, you're right.
A little wind blowing there.
A little rain.
May slow them down a little bit to where Seymour can do a little something. But I don't know.
I take Central. I mean, just going back and forth to what you're saying, I'm not going to say too much more about it. I think Central has got what it takes to do it. I think they are revving their engine up for the mid-season run that they always do. And, yeah, I think that first game was just one of those things. They started off a little bit slow and got behind the 8 ball. They're not going to get behind the 8 ball this week.
No, you're not. All right, so you've heard our Ball Corporation Game of the Week. Make sure you tune in to the Sevier County Game of the Week, which will come up on Channel 180. That will be Wednesday night, September 19th at 9 p.m. right on Spectrum Channel 180. And that's for those people that go to the game but would like to see themselves on the game. So tune in to our coverage of the Sevier County Game of the Week. Norman Plumley and Ralph Miranda will have the call. When we come back here on Your High School Sports, we have a new number one. I thought I'd never say it. A new number one Your High School Sports Top 10. So make sure you stay right with us because we're going to unveil that right after this.
Ah, your wedding day, that one special day in your life you'll never forget. So let Venture Productions capture all those special moments at your wedding for you to treasure a lifetime. Our approach to videography is one of creativity and excellence. Call Venture Productions for your video services.
It's the moment you've been waiting all your life. It's your wedding day. Yeah.
Welcome back to Your High School Sports. I'm your host, Roddy Woods, along with the Chris brothers, Chris Reddick and Chris Blevins. You know, we're here to unveil this new Top 10. You want to go? I'll let you go first. I'll let you go for it. You want me to do it?
Yeah, I can read it out. Yeah.
Go for it.
So just to change it up, it's been a long time since we had a number one switch out in our top 10. So we're going to start it out. Number 10, Cobb County. Number 9, Davy Crockett. Number 8, Knox Catholic. Number 7, Anderson County. Number 6, Farragut. Number 5, Elizabethton. Number 4, Fulton. Number 3, Maryville Rebels. Number 2, Greenville. And then number 1, we have Alcoa beating Maryville last week, so they deserve a top place spot in our 10 ranking.
Number 1.
Yes,
already.
you
Sorry,
beat,
getting mixed up early.
You beat number 1. You should be number 1.
I like it.
So if you have any comments about our poll, go to yourhighschoolsports.com. Or if you have any comments on our show, we need to wire a tie or anything, go to yourhighschoolsports.com.
Oh, there has been a comment.
Oh, yeah.
A few weeks ago, I said Big Daddy Ball.
Oh,
Spoke to Big Ball Daddy. He said, man, just call me BVD. So, call him BVD.
All right.
So BVD's watching. I know.
BVD's watching.
Awesome.
All right.
He's got, by the way, BVD, he does something fun with Greenville every week, too. He does highlights with Greenville.
So, hey, any comments? Any comments on UT?
I mean, they did get a win this past week against ETSU. I went to the game. I mean, it was exactly the way it was supposed to be until the lightning delay, and then it kind of got a little better, and then 59-3. So not much to say. I think we got a lot of work to do out there on the field. I think ETSU had a great time coming to the stadium, being a part of Neyland.
Got that big check?
I'm sure that's a big check. Randy Sanders still owns all of his clothes, so everything's still good up in Johnson City, I mean. And but UT still got a lot of work to do, and we'll see more when they play UTEP this next week.
All right. Anything? Closing remarks?
Closing remarks. Everybody, hey, just go out and support a team, a high school team. These guys, they put it all on the line each and every week. And it really will make those teams look good no matter what their record is if you show up in the stands.
All right. You heard comments from the Chris brothers. I'm Roddy Woods for Chris Blevins and Chris Reddick. We'll see you next week right here on Your High School Sports.
At Sevier County Electric System, we know that when the power goes out, it's important to you to have power restored as quickly as possible. That's why we've introduced the Power Action Line. As soon as you call the Power Action Line from a phone associated with your electric service, we know immediately that your power is out. The Power Action Line lets us answer up to 1,200 calls per hour, so we can make sure and identify all outages, even after major storms. We track those outages through our integrated mapping system, which provides our operations center a better understanding of where the affected areas are located and predicts probable starting points that helps our crews begin looking for the problem. Our whole goal is to get your power back on as soon as possible. We'll even call you back to make sure your service has been restored. At Sevier County Electric System, we want to take care of our customers, and that's what we do every day. Sevier County Electric System. We are the power behind our community. Just call 865-774-6300.